Well, happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope that you're having a good start to your week.
Yeah.
Haley and I are happy to talk about three things that we think are the most important when you are a leader, just based on our experiences personally and those that we've coached, and of course, leaders that we've been in business with or followed as well.
Yep.
So I think this is a great topic because those of you that are looking to become a stronger leader, you can see if these three things are something that you are acting on a daily basis. And if not, now you'll have some action items to move forward and be a better leader. So
Absolutely.
The first one, Haley, that we've talked about that I think is the one that's the hardest for people because it puts us in a vulnerable position, which nobody really likes to be vulnerable, right? That's uncomfortable, is really being truly authentic and transparent. And that seems to be interesting. Why is that one of the top three things? Because, how do people follow you? How do they know if they want to follow you? How do they know anything that they need to know in order to really buy into your, to who you are as a leader, to where you're going, if they don't know who you are as a person and as a leader? So, when you become super transparent and you show people that you're a real human being, it also opens up the safe space for them to be super transparent, which is also extremely important as a leader, to have that safe space. That's actually probably one of your strongest suits when it comes to culture and retention. So authenticity, though, is important. And I always tell people, if you don't know who you are, or you're unwilling to dig deep and figure out who it is you really are, what your strengths really are, what is important to you and where you want to go, then the vision you're casting out there is not one of authenticity, and people are going to pick up on that. So You've got to be authentic. You've got to do the work to figure out who am I and where do I want to go? And why am I doing this in the first place? And what's important to me? And those are great questions to ask yourself, and maybe do some self-reflecting. And then be willing to be transparent with your failures, your successes, your challenges, your life, and your business, because that will open up some really, really strong relationships, not only with the people you're in business with, but it will also allow you to attract more talent.
Yeah. Well, authenticity is so important anyways, because if you are not able to be authentic, here's the reality. People can pick up on that. Your clients are going to pick up on that. Your team is going to pick up on that. And it's very, very hard to follow somebody who is not authentic and true to who they are. And so you remember too, people gravitate toward the culture that they align with the most. So if you're not being authentic to yourself, how can you're not attracting the right people? And then that's just not setting yourself up for success or the success of your teammates.
Yeah.
So then the second leadership skill, and I should have said this from the beginning, there's lots of different leadership skills. There's so many. But the second leadership skill that Cari and I have identified is being able to cast the vision. So this is so incredibly important, to be able to not only cast the vision, but articulate it in a way that inspires your team to move forward. You need to be able to, as a leader, not only be authentic in your vision, but be able to paint a roadmap so that your team is motivated to move forward, right? You need to be able to be clear and concise, and you're able to talk about this vision, right? So that people gravitate toward you because it inspires them. And we've talked about this before. People, they want to be inspired and they want to be led. And a leader who can cast the vision, it really just sets everybody up for success. Wouldn't you agree, Cari?
Yeah. I mean, most leaders say they know where they want to go and they know what they want to do, but very few of them actually really write this down and find a way to articulate it on a constant basis. One of the biggest tips that I got when I first got into leadership from a leader of mine was, when you think you've casted the vision enough, cast it like 5 more times, because it's never enough. Because in our head, it's so clear, but how are we articulating it, and how often? And is it really concise, and is it written down? And would your team members be able to recite it back to you in terms of where we as a collective group are going? Most would say the answer is no. And it's just simply because we leave it up here. We don't share it enough.
Right. And then the last thing I want to say about vision is, when you are not able to articulate your vision accurately, what happens is it leaves a lot of room for your teammates and other leaders on your team to fail. Because remember, the leaders on your team, they are taking your vision and they're articulating it out to your buyers, to your sellers, to your clients. And if they're not able to do that, they're failing, right? They're failing on whatever the mission is for your business. So a clear, concise vision that is consistently casted, like I said, just sets everybody up for success. And remember, it empowers your employees or your teammates to be able to make decisions more effectively when they know what you expect.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. I mean, people can't be mind readers. And sometimes that's what we set people up for, not on purpose, but it's
Right.
because we don't know how to articulate, being inspiring and being motivating as a leader, I think comes from the first two. I think you automatically will be motivating and inspiring if you're truly authentic. And then you cast a vision that is really in alignment with who you are. That alone should be so motivating and inspiring to you as a leader that it makes it so natural to be out there and inspire other people. By the way, you said this earlier, when you then attract like-minded people or people that are naturally aligned with you, because that's what you do when you're authentic and when you cast the vision, it's more likely that they get excited, motivated, and inspired by it because it's in alignment with them too. So if you're finding that these things are hard, maybe something's missing. I always say if leadership seems like so difficult, is it because you aren't being as authentic and transparent? Is it because you haven't articulated the vision? Is it because maybe the vision isn't motivating and inspiring you? Or are you not in business with the right people? Those things make it seem like you're kind of drudging through the mud instead of really just naturally going out there and being the best version of yourself and watching things come your way because you are in that authentic and aligned space.
Right, right. And so I guess we should clarify the third leadership skill is to motivate and inspire. And we kind of covered that, but really, how does a leader do that? I think the first thing that a leader needs to realize is that in order for people to be motivated, they need a sense of ownership. And I think the best way for leaders to do this is to provide their team with opportunities to feel empowered. That is what creates inspiration, is empowering people, providing them with the autonomy. And if you have been authentic, if you have casted the vision and now you're providing autonomy for that person to go out and continue to cast your vision, that leads into that person feeling empowered and inspired because they know that they're making a greater impact. And as a human being, knowing that we're helping others to grow and we're contributing out to other people, that is the greatest spiritual gift that we can give.
And that's the best way to leave this call. I totally agree with you. So go take these three skills and, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 and figure out which one you might need to work on a little bit. Of course, if Haley or I could provide any insight or help you in any way, you know how to reach us. And don't forget to follow us on YouTube.
Yep, sounds great.
Thanks so much. See you next week.